The U.S. government is trying to slow the Cuban migration. For days now, customs officials have been impounding boats carrying Cuban refugees and preventing boat captains from making return trips to Cuba. But those who arrive say there are as many as 1,000 boats waiting to leave Cuba and an estimated 50,000 more refugees waiting to board them. The Coast Guard and Navy, which patrol the last 40 miles from Mariel Harbor to Key West, have been busy picking up refugees and towing their disabled boats into port. Some have broken down under the strain of heavy seas. Others haven't made it because they are overloaded with passengers. The fear is the boats could easily capsize in rough seas. 25 refugees have been killed or drowned in accidents so far. But the Cubans come anyway. Boat captains and owners say the Castro government forces them to overload their vessels.
I had no choice. They give you, what the number they figure that the boat will hold. And of course, that little 20-foot boat is not going to hold 20 people. As soon as we got away from the gunboats, outside of Mariel Harbor, we transferred them. That's why so many shrimp boats are coming back with people hanging from the rafters almost.
The Navy and Coast Guard say they are bringing in more ships to patrol the Straits of Florida and respond to rescue calls as the overloaded boats continue coming.
Originally, there may have been as many as 140 Georgia shrimp boats involved in the refugee sea lift. Most of those have now returned home, but for the 30 or so that are left, there is nothing but trouble. 5 are under seizure in Miami. The others are still in Cuba and face an uncertain fate.
And they are, of course, between the rock and the hard place. They cannot leave Cuba under Castro orders without being loaded with Cuban refugees, and Castro is selecting the ones he wants to leave. But if they do load up and come on to Florida, then of course they will be seized, either physically or constructively, and they face the possibility of a $1,000 per alien fine.
Ginn has been working with top White House aides to ease the plight of the Georgia shrimpers. He says he has been promised that every effort will be made to expedite solutions for their problems. But the congressman warns it is complicated.
You see, we've got 3 different federal agencies involved with this. The Coast Guard, who are interested in safety factors. We've got the Immigration and Naturalization Service, and of course they're checking every boat for the unvisaed aliens. And then we have the Bureau of the Customs. They're checking for possible smuggling. So these boat owners have to, and captains have to go through all of this procedure, then put up bond, and before they can be, before they're permitted to leave Florida with their boats.
The shrimpers went to Cuba, Ginn says, without his blessing. Some did go to make a fast buck. Most went for humanitarian purposes. His job now, the congressman says, is to get them back home so they can go shrimping. In Washington, I'm Andy Castles, Action News.